Hey everyone! In today's video we're going to be replacing the fog light bulb on my 1999 Acura RL. Stay tuned. I've driven Honda and Acura cars pretty much all my adult life. So when a listing popped up on Craigslist for a 1999 Acura RL with the blown head gasket and a full service history at just $500, I jumped on it right away. Long story short, I ended up replacing the engine myself, and this car has been a reliable daily driver ever since. Recently, the fog light bulb on the passenger side blew out, so that's what I'll be changing today. Here are the tools we're going to need to unbolt the fog light housing from the bumper cover. We've got a 3/8 inch ratchet and a couple extensions. And then I happen to be using a deep socket, which is 10 millimeters, but that's not absolutely necessary that it be a deep socket. A 10 millimeter swivel socket will also do the trick. To get started, we're going to go ahead and remove this 10 millimeter bolt. And that 10 millimeter bolt is installed at about a 75-degree angle to the front of the headlight. So that's why I'm using two extensions here. A telescoping magnet may also be necessary if the bolt doesn't come out on the socket. Next, we'll remove the housing from the bumper cover by pulling on the right side of the housing first. Then we'll just remove the connector from the light bulb socket terminals. Okay, so now we have the housing on the bench. We're going to go ahead and remove the rubber cover. And just be aware of the orientation of that cover and notice that there is an arrow on the top. Next, we're going to go ahead and remove the clip that holds the socket in the housing. And notice in this picture that this socket has a broken ear. So I'll put a link in the description below to where you can find a replacement socket if you need one. We're going to use a number 2 Phillips screwdriver to loosen the screw at the top. And that should allow the metal clip in the socket to be removed from the housing. And you may want to hold your finger over the clip so it doesn't go flying. I gently remove the bulb from the socket by grasping it with my thumb and my forefinger at 180 degrees from each other, and I work my way around the bulb until it was loose enough that it popped out. I'm replacing this bulb with the Sylvania H1 basic bulb, and I looked at some bulbs that were more expensive and had wider light, but they also had lots of complaints about premature failure. I put on a clean pair of gloves so I don't contaminate the bulb when I install it. I put a little bit of dielectric grease on a paper towel, and then I just applied that dielectric grease to the terminal of the bulb to keep the moisture and corrosion out. It's not absolutely necessary, but you also may want to use some contact cleaner to clean the socket. This is the housing from the driver's side, and I'm just going to demonstrate here how the socket would be reinstalled when the ears are fully intact. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and reinstall the clip, and just remember that the lower portion of the clip has to sit under that bracket there at the bottom, and then the top part of the clip has to sit fully in the groove before you can secure it with the screw. Here I'm just putting some dielectric grease on the socket terminals. Next, I'm going to install the rubber cover, and just remember that it's oriented with the arrow on top. And also remember to push down on the center of the cover so that it seats fully around the socket. Okay, so we're ready to install the housing back in the bumper cover, and this may be a good opportunity to use the contact cleaner to clean up the connector. Admittedly, I did not do that here. I'll put the housing back in the bumper cover, sliding the left side in first. Before we fasten the housing to the bumper cover, we'll make sure the light bulb we installed is working. Lastly, we'll just reinstall the 10mm bolt and call everything good. At this point, you may want to consider checking the aim of your fog lights, so here's some adjustment information from the service manual. And I've also included some supplementary procedural information in the description below.